Let's talk about how we can take the best performing parts of your jewelry store and make them a teensy bit better in this video. I want to lay out a framework that you can use to take the great parts of your business and grow them even more. And I want to do it by looking at what I call golden idols. Golden idols are areas of our business that you would say are doing really well, or at least in your perception. It's a way that you do things, it's a jewelry line that you carry, it's a service that you offer, and you've been offering it for a long time and it feels successful. And here's how you know you've got a golden idol on your hands. When you hear someone talking about a concept like maybe ditch that line, or do it this way, or we've had really good success doing it this other way, you go, okay, yeah, I'm glad you guys are successful doing it that way. That wouldn't work in my business. That wouldn't work in my area. When you say those words, you may have stumbled upon one of your golden idols. You have stumbled on an area that you go, we're different than everybody else, and we're not like anyone else. Now, as a consultant who has seen jewelry stores from coast to coast and works with them on a regular basis, I can tell you this, and I don't mean to hurt your feelings when I do. You're probably not as special as you think you are. I don't mean that you're not valuable or that you don't have your own unique flavor. You absolutely do. And that's what makes your store and your business amazing and special and awesome. The way that you do it, the structure, the mechanics of it are not typically that unique. There are some fundamental things that we see and trends that we see from coast to coast in all different markets that apply and work. And if we think of ourselves as being so special that these fundamental ideas wouldn't work in our store, we might be missing out on some things that we could be doing that could really increase the value of what we already offer. So when you say those words to yourself, our business isn't like that, it's different over here, hone in on that for just a moment. And in case you feel like I'm beating you over the head with the proverbial consultant's Bible and telling you you're doing a bad job, I could tell many stories about myself. One, in fact, where I said this about a marketing event that I swore would never ever work in my neck of the woods. And after finally being convinced to try it one time to prove the marketing company wrong, they knocked it out of the park, not once, but like 6 or 7 or even 8 times. Even I am guilty of having golden idols that I am not willing to sacrifice in my business because I'm so different. I'm over here in this different part of the world. Reality is, we have so much to learn from one another. And when we can take the time to learn those very fundamental and valuable skills and apply them in our own way in our business, we can really grow profit centers that are already doing well. So, enough rambling about the idea that we're trying to sell to you today. I want to talk to you about a framework that you can use to confront some of those golden idols in your business and apply them in a way that you can still use your flavor of doing business, but you can start growing profit centers in areas that you're already successful in right now. The first step in this process is to identify areas and categories that are already working very well for you. There's 2 specific areas I want you to look for. The first is areas in your business with the highest amount of profitability. They're bringing in the greatest amount of profit and they're contributing the most to gross profit. That's one area. The second area I want you to look at is in high volume. What's walking people through the door? Is it repair services that you offer? Is it a silver line that you offer? Or is it some sort of an appointment system that you have? What is bringing the greatest volume of feet through your door and through your business? So these are 2 separate areas, maybe with some overlap, of what is working well already. Once you've identified those, we need to start measuring some things. I can't tell you how many times Jimmy and I at Train Retail have worked with jewelers all over the country who've said, oh, these are our best areas. And we go, great. What are the numbers? What's the gross profit? What's your turn ratio? How does that compare with previous years? What does it look like in the forecast for the future? Where are you at in your inventory levels, et cetera, et cetera? And they look at us and go, we don't know. It just is. It just feels right. If the areas you've identified are the good areas of your business because it just feels right, we've got to really look into that. we don't know what's working until we measure it. And I get it. A lot of people out there don't like spending the time to look through data and spreadsheets. That's not the fun part of jewelry. The sparkly, shiny stuff and the people, that's the fun part of jewelry. Well, look, we have to measure something at some point. So, looking at these two categories, let's make the measurements easy. Make one of those measurements profit over time. How much profit did this bring in? And look at it over a period of years, even 2, 3, I've even done 5 and 10 years to see trends of how profit has gone over a period of time. Look at average retail or number of transactions and get a couple measurements of success out of both of these great areas. Okay, now that you've done this and you've identified what's working and how it's looking over time, what's the trend tell you? Are you trending upwards in these areas? Are you getting more profit or the same amount of profit, plateaued, or has it gone down? Those are the only 3 options that you can look at when you look at the profitability of this category. Of course, if things have fallen down, maybe it's time to really reinvigorate this area. We don't want our profit centers that are really contributing to our gross profit to be on a downward slope. So we've got to do something to turn that around. And I can tell you, it doesn't surprise me how many times people have done the research to find that some of their best categories are actually in a downward slope. Now, maybe you've done the work and you found that over a period of time, those areas are stagnant, they're flat, they've plateaued. Then you have to ask yourself, is this an area that I can grow to another level? Maybe I've hit a plateau because I've done everything I'm doing well already, that if I keep doing everything I'm normally doing, this is the limit of growth that I can experience. The only way that I can get to the next level of the plateau is by doing something different, adapting, tweaking, or changing it. And that's how we get out of a plateau. And of course, if things are going on an upward trajectory, you're not out of the woods yet. Ask yourself, is this growth that I'm experiencing the kind of growth I want? Could it be going faster? Could I be more deliberate with the type of growth? Can I have this growth spread out over into another category? For example, if your bridal is going upwards, great. Look at your wedding bands and your anniversary bands. If those are flat, you might want to ask yourself how you can get bridal to cooperate better with your anniversary bands so that they both go up. Just because a trend line is going up does not mean that we shouldn't critique ourselves and ask ourselves, is this growth being utilized to its full advantage? Of course, now that you've just done the steps of looking at the condition of the business and the condition of these great profit centers, let's take that to another step. We don't want to stay here. Let's go a little further. The second step in this process is to look around the industry at who's doing that thing better than you are, or more innovative than you, or who is going to push you to not settle for good enough. Good enough is the enemy of great. As a consultant, if you bring me into your business, I'm not going to look at a line that's doing good and say, fine, ignore it, keep going. I'm not content with good. I am crazy about excellent, and I want to do excellent work done well. That kind of perspective is the kind of thing you want to go look for from your colleagues and consultants and industry experts. And here's how. Take a look around. Do you have a network, like a buying group that you're in, maybe like RJO, IJO, or some other skull type group, where there are people inside of it you can text, message, they're your friends, and ask them, hey, how is this category doing for you? Look for the ones that are really successful in that one area or 2 areas that you are also doing well in. You're going to pick their brain. Or go looking at the trade magazines or videos out there, like this one, that are with industry experts talking about the very categories that you are looking at in front of you. Who's out there saying they're doing innovative work or they want to push people further? Where are the bars being raised in these categories? When you identify your fellow jewelers or trade experts, reach out to them, and I want you to ask 2 specific questions of them. Number 1, ask them, how did you become so successful in this category? If you know bridal, for example, I did this with a friend of mine who is fantastic at a certain way of selling bridal that honestly I wasn't super great in, but I wanted to get better. I was okay, but I wanted to get better. I sat down with them and had a great conversation, and these two questions were what I had in mind. Number one, how do you do what you do? How did you get to this successful point? When they answer the question, they're going to give you a methodology. They're going to tell you how they did the process. And in that methodology they're going to lay out for you, they're probably also going to reveal details about how successful they really are. They're going to tell you maybe about units sold. They're going to tell you about the percentage of sell-through that they have. They'll give you these hints and clues about the way that the methodology works and how they measure it for success. Remember, if we're not getting measurements out of this and we can't measure the success, then we really have no idea if it's working. And they'll tell you how they've measured for success. Cue into that. Make note of how they do those measurements and what they did to get the methodology just right. Now, once they lay that out for you, the second question is so powerful. The question is, who helped you become successful? The who question is amazing. When you ask a fellow retailer, who helped you be successful in doing this? They might reference another company that came in and gave them outside perspective. They might reference a consultant that you also could go to and get that outside perspective. Maybe they reference someone on their staff or a team member that they hired and talk about the attributes of what makes that person so good at their job. And pay attention to those attributes. Maybe those are attributes that you need to find on your staff or hire into your company. And if they give you the name of a reference for a consultant or another company, they've given you the perfect reference to go somewhere else to get great advice on your great performing categories to raise the bar and push you to the next level. Now, you've completed steps 1 and 2. Measure and see how things are going over time, and you've done a bit of networking with some very deliberate questions. The third one is you got to try something. You can't do all that work and then expect growth to happen through osmosis. It doesn't work that way. You have to try something, but try measured steps. If you don't want to take big, huge risks and swings, I get it. Do something. Take measured small steps, but the key is measured. Make sure that you continue to measure the things that you did in step 1 and do it over the next 3 months. If you are successful, you will start to see some trends slowly begin to change in a favorable direction. Maybe you might have to tweak a few elements. Maybe the ideas that you got need a bit more of your flavor or spice. You add those. And as you do, keep watching and measuring over 3, then 6, then 9 months. And over a period of time, let's say over a year, you're going to see that trend line do something. Ideally, move in an upward fashion. And we want to keep doing that in these profit centers because they stand to give us the greatest amount of opportunity in growing our business. So those are 3 steps that you can follow so that you can grow your business in your best performing categories and elevate and raise the bar. I really want you to leave this video with this encouragement. Don't settle for good enough in your jewelry store. Demand excellence. When you look at your departments, when you look at things like bridal and diamond fashion and color and diamond jewelry, ask yourself, it's good, but what would make it great? How would I know it's great? Well, I'd have to measure something. I'd have to find great advice from experts out there who know how to make it excellent or who have done it themselves, and then I'd have to apply that. Try something. Don't be afraid to take a few of those golden idols off the shelf and confront them for what they are. Our businesses shouldn't be these monasteries that we worship and afraid of afraid of moving the traditions around. They should be science experiments. These living, breathing things that we're moving the dials on here and there to see if we can't calibrate it to even something better that we've ever envisioned. That's what I hope for you in your business. And if you would like an outside perspective that is seeing the jewelry industry from coast to coast and has done it ourselves, reach out to us at trainretail.com, or you can email me or my partner Jimmy directly, kyle@trainretail.com or jimmy@trainretail.com. We would love to provide you with some outside perspective to your business, and the first meeting with us is absolutely free. Give us a holler, give us a shout. Good luck out there, and we will see you next time.